guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm going to take you on a little adventure with me. We are going to go to the Titanic Museum in Branson, Missouri. I know, Branson, right? That doesn't seem like a place where the Titanic Museum would be, but it was there and I had to see it, so I'm going to bring you along. So if you want to see what was lying at the bottom of the sea, then come stick around. Launches the greatest ship ever, the RMS Titanic, and it leaves from Southampton on noon Wednesday, April 10th, 1912. It'll be the last voyage that the ship will ever make. The ship will be built in Belfast, Ireland, and it will be one of the grandest ships, and it will also have a sister ship called the Olympic. And RMS is also short for Royal Mail Ship. Sorry for sticking my head in this shot, but I just wanted to kind of give you a scale of how large this museum is, so that way you can kind of see the size that they put into creating this museum, just so you know that you do feel like you're actually boarding a ship. As you go into the museum, they give you what is called a boarding pass, which would just be like you're boarding on a ship, and you're going to see if your person that they gave you is going to survive the wreck at the end of the museum tour. Sorry for my distracting alien Lisa Frank nails, but when you're a little kid and you love Lisa Frank, and now that you see them as an adult, yes, of course we're going to try those out. So they don't permit any picture taking downstairs, but as you can see as you walk in, there's a sheet of ice that I almost blinked and missed, but you can put your hand on it and it's pretty neat. So our journey kind of begins in first class, and as you can see, this is what a first class room would have looked like on the Titanic. And the photo out there on the wall is a picture of the Strausses, and they both sank with the ship as they didn't want to leave each other's side. And I believe, I want to say they were the owner of Macy's department store at the time. Okay, so now we're moving down the hallway, and you can see they designed the hallways in the museum to look actually like what the hallways on the ship would have looked like if you were in first class. In no way was my outfit even close to the opulence of what all the ladies wore on the ship back during that time in first class. Now we're moving into the music room, and the band that played for the night with all the players that will be playing together for the last time of their lives, which is kind of creepy, you know, just gives you the chills when you think about it. This was one of my favorite things that was out on display, is an ancient Egypt artifact that a lady had that she carried around with her for good luck that was riding on the Titanic. And of course, we've reached the grand staircase, and I believe the staircase was made famous from the 1997 movie from the Titanic. But what people don't realize is that the staircase had 5 levels, and it swirled down in a similar fashion 5 stories below. And now we're in the captain's quarters, and this is what it would have looked like to Captain E.J. Smith when he was piloting the Titanic. They even left no detail out when it came to the windows, where you could look outside and see exactly what the captain would have seen that night. It's a beautiful lit sky full of stars. This room in the museum was probably the coldest out of all the rooms. It kind of gave you the chills and goosebumps walking around in the captain's quarters. Even though it is a replica, you still got a real feel of what the actual wheelhouse would have felt like on the Titanic. Here's a little interesting fun fact that J.P. Morgan, one of the financiers who built the ship, had a ticket to ride in the Titanic and declined his ticket before the voyage, even though he was one of the people that invested in getting the ship built. But did you know that all the people that change their plans or cancel on their tickets before either a plane flight or something, there's a lot of that goes on plane flights and things that become disastrous, which kind of one of those strange odd facts that people don't realize. So on the night that the Titanic sank, the iceberg warning started coming in about 9:52 in the evening, and that's approximately a little less than 2 hours before the ship actually hits an iceberg. And you can see they built these neat little wooden planks of what the deck would have felt like at different times after the ship hit the iceberg. And so the first one we walked up was at 1:50 in the morning, and here's one that's leaning a lot more at 2:05. And then they have one more that they built approximately about 2 minutes before the ship would have actually sank into the ocean. And as you can see, it's a lot harder to climb up, and my feet are sliding and I'm having to use my arms to grab the rail to pull myself up. So it kind of gives you an idea and perspective of how the ship was leaning that night before it sank. This was one of my favorite little things that came up from the wreckage, is this dress coat that is pretty well preserved for being down at the bottom of the ocean in salt water. And then this little kid, this Frankie Goldsmith, he kind of jumped out at me. I don't really exactly know why, but he's kind of listed as a third-class passenger and also a first-class passenger. So kind of bizarre. I guess he had friends with his buddies in third class, so he kind of jumped to different classes on the ship. If I were a passenger on this ship, more than likely would have been a third-class passenger if I could have ever had a ticket to even get on the ship. But it's kind of crazy all the different things that were brought up from the ship. And even if you were a third-class passenger or a first-class passenger, all the artifacts from all the different people and walks of life are still precious to all of us to this very day. And this one was kind of neat, how DNA can now figure out who was related to who that went missing on the Titanic, that was buried and exhumed, just to find some DNA on the person and link them back up with their family. So I believe that was pretty cool. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's see how our girl did in this wreck. And she is going to be actually on the survive side. But if you look at the perish side underneath the people who survived, there's a lot more that perished than survive if you start counting the numbers and seeing all the names. Say the largest amount of people that went down with the ship when you're looking at this wall is definitely going to be the ship crew. It's mostly made up of men, and there were a lot of people down there that were working, and just it's really sad that so many didn't make it. This was kind of a neat find right here, is these cabinets that were made out of the wheelhouse doors going in, and so that's a pretty neat little artifact there. Okay, say no trip is complete to the museum without sticking your hand into the cold plunge just to see how painful the water was out in the Atlantic that night. Okay, one last look of the ship at night, or the museum ship I should say. As you can see, they even lit the funnels at night. And on the original ship, they had 4 funnels, but 3 of the funnels were working funnels, and one of them was just there to kind of give it some symmetry, so it kind of played along in the opulence and making it look large and grand. Okay guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. I hope you guys had a good time coming along and checking out this museum with me. I had such a good time, and I hope you guys find time to go and check it out for yourself, because it is definitely worth going to see up close and personal. But until next time, y'all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next episode. Bye!